All right. So we're back. And we're going to talk about a lady who says that maybe dating is, you know, harder for women than it is men. That's what she says. That's what she says. Heart Talk Radio. Let's get into it.
In this video, I'm going to be attempting to answer, with the help of my trusty whiteboard, the classic question of who has dating harder. Is it men or women? Now, I like to think of myself as Switzerland of dating because I actually work with men and women really equally, and it's not just straight men and women, it's men and women from all different orientations and backgrounds. Okay, so I'm first of all arguing my case for why I think the guys have it hardest. Well, let's start with the obvious one here. Traditionally, men, the burden has been on you to make the first move. You know what? Actually, is she going to give you a strong signal? Is she going to ask you out? Is she ever going to send you the first message on an online dating site? Probably not. So you have to learn to make the first move, or you will often get no inbound moves whatsoever. Okay, so I'm actually going to be telling you why women have it harder. You know, you can complain all that you want about having to make the first move. Women often actually face a negative social penalty and are ashamed and just generally feel like they're not allowed to make the first move, because if they do, they're going to be perceived as coming on too strong or unfeminine, or a bunch of other negative judgments we hold against women who show more
Well,
ownership around their sexuality.
the fact of the matter is, it just goes that way, that a woman that is will be more aggressive and masculine, yeah, she's gonna come off that way. That's why men are the ones that should be making the first move. Okay. And it will come off that way. That's just how it is. A woman wants to be masculine, she's gonna act in a way that's very unattractive to a man, especially a masculine one. All right, let's keep going.
Guys are often shamed on grounds of their height. I meght how heightist can like a Tinder profile get, where it's like, oh, guys 6 foot and above only need apply. Even Tinder had a laugh on April Fool's Day and released a joke, thankfully, height verification badge. I mean, can you imagine if this was the other way around and there was a weight verification badge or something?
Why not have one? Why not have one? I mean, this is the thing. Women want to put 6 feet abs and abs. Okay, how much do you weigh? Do you have a slim waist? Okay. I mean, you could say like, well, I don't date women who are fat. But you see, women want to be the ones to make decisions and stuff when it comes to their requirements. But if men do the same thing, oh my God, you sexist, misogynist beast! How dare you do that to me? Run off and cry and stuff like that. And I think it'd be better that way. Women, you want your height requirement. Men should want their weight requirement. Fair is fair. Okay. And there are women who will be happy to say how much they weigh. Instead of women, you're not supposed to ask how much a woman weighs. Yes, you can. You can ask that question. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. Fair is fair. Crybabies, go to the corner. That's all.
For women, we'd be pissed off. And yeah, okay, the height thing is a little bit uncool. However, women definitely get shamed in terms of weight and age. If I hear one more person say the comment, "You're very attractive for a woman of your age," I am actually going to thump them. Inherently, guys have less choice because they have to do a lot more.
Well, I mean, the thing is, if you look good for your age, maybe she's 35, 38, maybe they're going to say that. I mean, there's certain ways you got to say things. If you're trying to get with a woman, there are certain things you have to be careful what you say. In a way, you got to be kind of like a politician with a woman. You say kind of the things they want to hear. Just say the things they kind of want to hear to keep the conversation going. I mean, it's kind of, yeah, for her age. I mean, look at this neckline. I'm sorry. You could always tell, sometimes sometimes the woman's aged a bit. She's a little older. You look at her neckline. Okay. You just look at it. The woman could be a little older. Okay. Remember I did that video with Angelina Jolie in the weekend and she strutted her leg out? You could see there's age on that leg. She's like 47 years old. You see there's some age on that leg that she was showing. There's some history with that leg. Okay. Meaning she's not the spring chicken she used to be. And women will say, well, I can still have sex with men. Key word, sex. What about marriage? What about a man marrying you?
Generating that attraction because they don't have this constant queue of inbound people that are seeking to date them. They have to do a lot more to actually get out there. And okay, sure, some guys do date a lot of women, but get this, most guys in fact don't. Most guys might struggle to get even a small amount of women really interested in them. Sure, women do have more choice. If they really wanted to, they could go into a bar and probably leave with someone. But
yes, men do get rejected. There's some men that will have a hard time getting with a woman, and that's just the facts. It's maybe something they're lacking, or just the fact that the woman's not into them, or the fact of the matter that maybe some men that they go into there and they don't have the tools to be in that lane. If they're still at level 1, but they don't want to do anything to get to level 2, then they deserve to stay at level 1. That's it. A lot of guys don't understand that. And those guys sometimes in the MGTOW red pill community, you have guys who complain about women. Oh, only the top 10% get all the chicks. All right. You can't be an average guy. Then don't be average. Then there's another excuse. Then there's another excuse. Then you just understand. All right. Then this dude likes being mediocre. Then he should just be with mediocre women. Okay. Or you got to change. Life is about work. Okay. I don't like it sometimes, but in the end, when I put my all into it, I see results. That's just it. You got to put your all into it. That is it. That is it when it comes to us men. Men who don't like to hear that, why are you red pill? To me, red pill is like trying to improve your life. That was what red pill was for me. After a bad breakup, I didn't have red pill rage. It was about improving my life. That's it.
Let's not forget here that poses a potential safety issue, and that also women are highly shamed for having a higher number of sexual partners. So
maybe women, here's the old saying. A key that can open any lock is a master key, but a lock that can be opened by any old key is a crappy lock. There's gender. This is just the biases of it. This is how it is. And this is why women should just shut up about your body count. Shut up. Stop talking about your body count. You're not equal to men. You're not. We're equal to respect because we have different gender roles, but we're not yet. A woman is not equal to a man. This is what feminism has just twisted and just robbed women of dreams because of this lie. You're not equal to men. And another thing is that why you want to have the freedom of a toxic man. Men who sleep around are not, it's a toxic thing to sleep around. You risk catching an STD. You risk getting a woman pregnant that you may not want to be with. There's a lot of risk with having lots and lots of sex. And that it's not safe. So why would you want to risk living the life of a toxic man if you don't want to pay those consequences? This is what it is. You want equality, but none of the responsibility.
The reality of having this paradise of guys to choose from never really pans out. Men experience more loneliness because of this. A lot of the time they might.
The reason, the reality is the fact that there's more women in this world than men, and especially in the Western hemisphere, and that is due to, you guessed it, abortion. So the reason why women probably don't have many a pick to choose from is because women before them have been aborting children. So who knows? Your potential love interest may have been aborted. Something to think about.
Lead more solitary lifestyles. There's increased rates of male suicide. They have less emotional connections and supportive relationships potentially within their lives. They also feel less able to talk about their emotions. And if they aren't one of those really lucky guys who just happens to have lots of women in their life, they can find dating to be a lonely journey, and it actually can be very difficult and challenging to convince even one woman to go on a date with them. Now, women might experience loneliness in a different way, but it definitely happens. And also, to be quite frank, I'd rather be a bachelor than be called a spinster. At least as an unmarried guy or a long-term guy, it might feel difficult for you.
Well, the fact of the matter is women are called spinsters when they're basically alone and don't have kids. Men are called bachelors, and that's just not everybody's meant to be married. That's another thing too. Not everybody's meant to be married. A lot of people rush into this stuff and they don't understand that maybe it's just not for you.
But on the bright side, at least you don't have the whole of society asking, have you met someone yet, or why didn't you choose to have children? How this will show up in online dating is guys might literally have the experience of sending out like 20 messages a day, and if they're lucky, getting one response back. I mean, that is a lot of legwork at the start of the dating process for guys. I also understand that it's probably a bit frustrating sending messages out and not getting responses, but you know what? It's equally frustrating and demoralizing opening your online dating inbox and realizing that there's 100 messages, some of which are rude, some inappropriate, a bunch of who just say hey, and trying to somehow filter through that and find the energy to go and choose the guys that you're most connected to. Guys, I also find, probably going to get told off for saying this, want to have a more experiential version of dating where they just kind of see how stuff goes. And often they're looked on to always 100% know what they want and 100% have a plan because they are a guy. I also get that you might want to take your time, or guys might want to take their time, but my time is really valuable to me, and women's time is valuable to them, because the main thing that they're messaging that they hear is, you've got to hurry up or you'll be left on the shelf, or tick.
Well, that is kind of true. I mean, the fact of the matter is, but you shouldn't rush. I mean, that is the fact, because the fact of the matter is, a lot of these women, they bought into feminism. I could have as much, on the carousel, the rooster carousel, as long as I can till I'm 30 or 40, and then I want to find a good guy. It doesn't work that way. That way works for men. It doesn't work for women. The fact, because a man could, establish himself, wait till he's 30 or 40, and then he wants to get married, but he will usually marry a woman that is younger because she will be more fertile. Okay, this is biology. This is just how it is. A woman tries that, and she's going to be crap out of luck trying to have kids. And you better have Janet Jackson money to have kids at the age of 40, because past 27, past the 30s, you risk having a kid with Down syndrome. You risk having complications with pregnancy, because the female body's losing eggs as she ages.
TikTok, time is running out. So we feel under intense time pressure to make decisions around dating. And in fact, we might even feel like the dating ship has already sailed. Guys often.
And the thing is like, again, women should not be rushing into marriage. Don't rush into marriage because everybody is saying, why don't you get married? Why don't you get married? I hate that. Marriage is a big step. It is tough. It is not for everyone. It's not for the faint of heart. So if you haven't been married yet, relax, because marriage is not for everyone. Just isn't.
Often also suffer from having pretty low standards when it comes to dating, and that's because they're in a space of scarcity. They're not getting very many dates. So if one woman that they're attracted to starts to show them a little bit of interest, often they'll want to cling on and try to make that interaction work, even if the woman is sending just emojis as responses, one-line responses, is giving none of her availability when to meet. Now, you might have low standards, but maybe our standards are really high. And the reason for that isn't coming from a bad space. It's because we've had some dating experiences. We really know what we want and what we don't want. And to be honest, our time is precious to us. We're fed up of people wasting it.
I'd say that for women who are woken up, okay, there are, like I said, there are men out there that they just want the highest thing with the least effort, and you can't do that in the dating market. If you are lacking in certain things, you gotta improve that as a man. You're not gonna, like I said, I'll say the Oliver Twist, well, more porridge, sir. Acting like the orphan in the movie, more porridge. You can't be begging a woman to. It's not gonna. She's gonna be repulsed by you. If you don't have any abundance with you, then forget dating. That's just it. You have to work on yourself, and then you could go and see what type of woman you could get. All right. There's nothing wrong with aiming high, but here's the thing: if you aim high, you may get somebody that is pretty good looking. You may not get the A class one, but you may get the B class woman. But that's because you put in effort. Okay. That's just how it is. That's just, that's why they say simping kills.
And because of that, we're going to be super, super tough in terms of how we choose people. Guys can also often find that they are only friends with a woman, or only.
But always remember, when you get to that place, you have more options. However, just remember you can't. Just remember, what do you want? If you just want to bang a bunch of beautiful chicks, if you understand that woman wants marriage, but you don't, let her go.
Able to communicate themselves, having a more friendship, platonic relationship, when in fact they would actually really like to have something more. The word friend zone has got a bad vibe about it, because that suggests, I guess, in a way that someone owes you something for being their friend when they don't. However, feeling that you can't communicate with the people you're attracted to in the way that they can become attracted to you is really challenging. It must be annoying as well being stuck as just being a friend, but what's more annoying is when someone says to you, or kind of makes out that you're in a relationship, or that they're interested in something more serious, when it turns out they just wanted to kind of use you or engage with you in a way that's more casual. And of course, sometimes
that's basically it. I mean, the friend zone, yeah, you had to understand something. When you're younger as a man, you kind of get annoyed by it, but then in the end, it's like, if she doesn't like you that way, that frees up your time to be with somebody that actually does like you that way. And this thing about the nice guy, well, I'm a nice guy. Anytime a person says, I'm a nice girl, I'm a nice guy, you're not a nice girl and you're not a nice guy. You're not owed anything for being a person's friend. And if you put in the friend zone, then all right, you just go on to somebody else. Remember, there are more women in this world than men. Understand that. There's more women in this world than men. That just means for us men, we got to get our stuff together and go out there and get a woman that will like us. And that's it. No sense trying to fake being a friend, trying to get with a woman when you really don't want to be a friend. You're trying to get in her pants. Yeah, always remember that. You have that scarcity mindset, you'll get desperate. The women have a scarcity mindset because guess what? There's a very few men that are eligible, that are worth dating. And because of feminism, because of abortion, most of their dating partners were probably aborted. That's it. Or the fact that they've been on the carousel for too long, and now the only things left are rejects instead of the prime people that they want to mate with.
You might be in the mood for something casual, but it's sort of disrespectful, the fact that no one's ever open about what their real intentions are. Guys are always in the position where they are expected to lead, to create, to have the plan, and learning that skill around leading and creating is at the linchpin of what comes for dating success for guys. And so with women, it's learning how to be proactive and also learning how to receive and still to be open-minded around dating after some difficult experiences, and recognizing the woman's role in dating doesn't have to be waiting for your prince to come. And in fact, there's loads of ways that you can be super proactive. Now, of course, I've already acknowledged I'm Switzerland of dating, and I want to just give you a slightly playful and extreme perspective on men and women's dating problems. I was going over the top there for a bit of emphasis, so not all views expressed are exactly my own. However, what I wanted to give you the picture of is whether you're a man or you're a woman, if you're there thinking that, 50% of the world is having it easy and you're having a difficult time, it is so important to recognize that we all have our own sort of like cross to bear when it comes to dating, and men and women's problems sometimes are similar, sometimes they're quite different. But just because the problem isn't the same doesn't mean that problems don't exist. Everyone has their own challenges when it's faced by dating, and an easy, quick way to improve your ability to date is actually to, I know it sounds a bit careberry, up your empathy level so you can understand that there are always at least two sides to any story, that everyone has difficulties, everyone has challenges, everyone has problems, no one has it easy. And it's actually about coming from a space where we're able to empathize and understand rather than think it's all our bad luck. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this video. Again, if I've missed things, if you think I'm wrong, write in the comments below. Would love to hear from you. And also, if you want to hear more about my advice about how to overcome these problems, because all these things are solvable.
So basically, what I've heard is things that women go through and struggle. But I would say that women, they have it hard. I would say women have it hard because of the scarcity of men to date, as of men, who are not willing to really work to get the top women that they want. Yeah, some men are just introverted, some men are incels, and some men are just lazy. Some men are just players. So that's how it is. But you got to blame the gynocracy for the fact of why women have such low pickings. Because with free love, using abortion as a contraceptive, you basically aborted their partners to have. So that's why things are the way they are. But who knows? After the economy crashes, men will be forced to be hunters and gatherers again and forced to endure hard stuff. And that will turn more men into alphas, and women will, drop the feminist act, and they will have to look for men that are suitable for mating instead of just picking any type of Pookie, Ray Ray, or bottom shelf Brad to hook up with. All right. That's what I got to say for now. Till next time. All right. So please like, share, comment, and subscribe.